8 NFL teams are playing in stadiums that are actively failing. From sewage bursting onto fans at Northwest Stadium to the steep, wind-whipped upper decks of Soldier Field, these venues are showing their age as franchises face urgent decisions about their future homes. Hey, my name is Mike and welcome back to TFC Stadiums. Today we're covering NFL teams that really do need a new stadium. Originally opened in 1997, the Commanders' current home, with its lease set to expire in 2027, has become notorious for its issues. In 2021, a burst pipe sprayed fans with sewage, and in 2022, a railing collapsed near Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. Players have complained about locker room leaks and inconsistent hot water, adding to the long list of problems that have made the venue one of the NFL's least loved. In September of 2025, the DC Council approved a $3.7 billion plan to build a new 65,000-seat stadium at the RFK site, bringing the team back within city limits for the first time in decades. The proposed design includes a translucent TFC roof, allowing daylight while keeping the venue climate controlled. Demolition of the old RFK structure is scheduled for late 2026, with an opening targeted for around 2030. This next one I could attest to, as I was just there. Opened in 1924, Soldier Field is the NFL's oldest and smallest stadium, seating roughly 61,500. Once a National Historic Landmark, it lost that status after the controversial 2003 renovation. Despite its legacy, Soldier Field has long been viewed as inadequate for a modern franchise. Its limited capacity restricts revenue and disqualifies it from hosting major events like the Super Bowl. The 2003 renovation created awkward sightlines, narrow concourses, and steep upper decks with little weather protection. As an open-air venue, it also leaves spectators exposed to Chicago's harsh winters and lacks the enclosed, climate-controlled comfort of the newer NFL stadiums. Compounding these problems, the Bears don't control the venue. Soldier Field is owned by the Chicago Park District, which means the team has little influence over concessions, naming rights, or scheduling. Access and parking remain difficult, with limited on-site space and chronic traffic congestion along the lakefront. In 2023, the Bears purchased 326 acres in Arlington Heights, envisioning a privately financed fixed-roof stadium surrounded by a mixed-use district. The project seats $855 million in public funding for infrastructure upgrades such as roads, sewers, and commuter rail connections. Demolition of the old racetrack facilities has already begun, making it the first visible step towards relocation. With the Soldier Field lease running through 2033, the Bears are clearly planning ahead with a venue that offers full control, modern amenities, and the scale expected of an NFL powerhouse like the Bears. But opened in 2000 along the Ohio River, Paycor Stadium was once celebrated for its modern design and downtown setting. Now, aging infrastructure and costly upkeep are highlighting the need for a deeper renewal. The venue has gone for more than 2 decades without major modernization, relying instead on recurring repairs and temporary fixes. In 2024, about $39 million was spent on critical repairs alone. One of the most visible problems is the stadium's aging escalators. Replacement plans were rejected by county officials, leaving ongoing safety and crowd flow concerns during large events. In 2025, Hamilton County approved an 11-year extension and a $470 million renovation plan, but the Bengals have yet to sign while legal reviews continue. Taxpayers would cover roughly 3/4 of the renovation costs, which sparks debate over whether public funds should continue supporting an increasingly outdated facility. Let's stay in division with the Cleveland Browns' Huntington Bank Field. Opened in 1999, Huntington Bank Field has served as the Browns' home for over a quarter century, with the current lease set to expire after the 2028 season. Despite multiple renovations, it's widely viewed as outdated for modern NFL standards. Its open-air lakefront setting exposes fans to harsh winter winds coming off of Lake Erie, and the stadium's location leaves little room for expansion or major reconfiguration. While upgrades have improved video boards, technology, and suites, the overall fan experience still lags behind newer NFL venues. Concession lines, concourse congestion, and weather exposure remain persistent complaints, and downtown traffic and limited parking only add to the frustration. Currently, the Browns are fast-tracking plans for a new $2.4 billion dome stadium in Brook Park, near Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. The project, supported by $600 million in state funds, would create Ohio's first enclosed football venue with flexible capacity ranging from 67,000 to 75,000 seats. But even that project has encountered challenges. State aviation officials rejected one proposed design as too tall for nearby flight paths, and parking projections show a 10,000 space shortfall on game days. There are also legal questions surrounding Cleveland's Modell Law, which restricts franchise relocation, and that could absolutely complicate approvals here. Shared by two franchises since 2010, MetLife Stadium seats about 82,500, making it one of the NFL's largest venues, but of course one of the most criticized. In one player poll, a respondent bluntly said everything about that place is horrible. Each team earns roughly $15 million per game, yet the fan and player experience remains among the league's most maligned. The stadium's artificial turf has been a constant source of controversy, blamed by players for a string of lower body injuries over recent seasons. Even inside, MetLife's atmosphere often feels impersonal. The upper decks sit far from the field, and the open-air design leaves fans exposed to cold winter and rain without any shelter. Concession areas and concourses are also functional but plain, lacking the distinct character found in the NFL's newest grounds and generation of stadiums. Off the field, the fan experience is equally troubled. Traffic congestion, limited transit options, and expensive parking routinely frustrates attendees, with exit times stretching for hours after major games. The Meadowlands site also sits isolated between highways, which leaves few access routes in or out. Ahead of the 2026 World Cup, transportation officials have already warned that the stadium's infrastructure could struggle to handle the surge of event traffic. But beyond design and access problems, ClimateX projects that MetLife Stadium faces more than $5.6 billion in cumulative flood-related losses by 2050, the highest risk projection for any NFL venue. Combined with its open-air exposure and proximity to tidal wetlands, the site's long-term resilience remains uncertain. Next, we have Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Built in 1998, Raymond James Stadium has been the Buccaneers' home for over a quarter century. With about 65,900 seats, it remains one of the league's mid-sized venues, but Florida's weather and the stadium's aging design continue to test its limits. Fan complaints frequently focus on parking and access. Exiting can take more than an hour during high-attendance events, like the Super Bowl. Beyond access issues, the stadium's open-air design and uncovered upper decks leave thousands of fans exposed to rain, humidity, or scorching sun. That exposure extends to the field itself, too. In October 2024, Hurricane Milton flooded the playing surface and surrounding lots, forcing major repairs and highlighting the venue's low-lying vulnerability. Less than a year later, a preseason match drew criticism when the newly installed turf showed visible seams, raising questions about field safety and durability in Tampa's humid climate. Because Hillsborough County owns the stadium, the Buccaneers have little control over revenue or major renovations, but with the current lease expiring in 2028, the combination of weather exposure, aging infrastructure, and limited autonomy places Raymond James Stadium at a bit of a crossroads. Moving our way down south in Florida, though heavily renovated, Hard Rock Stadium still struggles with drainage and field consistency under extreme South Florida weather. During the Copa America 2024 final, crowd chaos delayed kickoff by more than 75 minutes, with fans rushing gates and damaging escalators. The incident revealed serious gaps in perimeter security and crowd management, prompting organizers to add multiple checkpoints and tighter access control ahead of each future event. Beyond event day operations, though, the stadium also faces broader environmental threats. The stadium sits only 4 to 6 feet above sea level, and nearby Canal C9 has already shown signs of backflow during storms, occasionally pushing saltwater inland when ocean levels are that high. Climate Central estimates that by 2070, about 95% of points across the stadium property could face occasional coastal flood exposure. The stadium's 2016 canopy renovation provides partial shade but doesn't fully protect fans or the field from South Florida's weather. Event turnover has also taken a toll on the playing surface. After major concerts or international tournaments, the turf is often removed and reinstalled, leaving uneven seams and inconsistent footing. Ahead of the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, players and coaches voiced concerns over surface quality after several sections of relayed turf were visibly misaligned. But let's move up to the Carolinas, where Bank of America Stadium sits. Opened in 1996, Bank of America Stadium is now undergoing major renovation to keep pace with the NFL's newest venue. In June of 2024, Charlotte approved a $650 million public funding towards an $800 million upgrade, securing the Panthers' commitment through 2045. The project focuses on expanded concourses, new seats, and better amenities to modernize an aging facility. The renovation plan itself has drawn criticism. A public watchdog group labeled it one of the worst economic development deals of 2024, arguing that taxpayers are overpaying for a limited long-term benefit. Supporters say it will keep the team in Charlotte, but critics call it a temporary fix rather than a true renovation. Bank of America's stadium design shows its age. Narrow concourses make movement between sections tight, and fans lose sight of the field while walking concessions or social area. The open-air layout offers no roof or canopy, leaving everyone exposed to rain and heat during early and late season games. In 2011, more than 4 inches of rain fell within an hour, flooding parts of the lower bowl. A decade later, the Panthers played through the coldest home kickoff in team history. Owner David Tepper has stated that any future stadium will likely include a retractable roof and expanded entertainment space, features this one just can't support structurally. So whether it's MetLife's $5.6 billion flood risk or Raymond James's hurricane damage, the coming years will decide which franchises can build stadiums strong enough to withstand the future. Which of these teams do you think most urgently needs a new home, and which aging stadium still deserves one more chapter? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.